Hello there, traveler, and welcome to the world of Kymaticus, where through the roles we play, we spin our tale. This is our weekly D&D 5e session here on Forward in the Saves, and as always, I am joined by my companions. Tyler, playing the Divine Soul Sorcerer, Cercius Nagnos. John, playing Eldon Roland, the Eldritch Knight Fighter. Cassie, playing Rona Thimbley, the Life Domain Cleric, and Dylan, playing Hector Stoneborn, the Oath of Conquest Paladin. And I am Alexander, your Weaver of Tales. So, hang up your cloak, grab a drink, and kick back as we dive into this chapter of Kymaticus. Ow! All right. So, where we last left off. Hoplites, you wrapped up your downtime, your vacation. That was well deserved after your delve into Kavarat, your infiltration mission. You come back, talk to Ashengi Yor, get some well-deserved vacation before meeting up back at the Tower of Yor to head to Sarum to meet with Drundall Wyrmbreaker, King of Sarum, and his son, Hamuk Wyrmbreaker, Prince. The dwarves are having a rough time with some of the northern folk beyond their kingdom line, the Children of Skyraeus, also known as the Children of the North. Drundall has informed you the Children of the North have been coming south and pillaging some of the northern Sarum cities and towns. But they only seem to take what they need, food, supplies, etc., before receding back into the Uncharted North. So, as you all take the teleportation circle from the Eye of Yor up to Covern, the capital of Sarum, that is where we begin. As you all appear within Sarum, you find yourself high atop one of the towers in the Sarum capital of Covern. When you appear, around you, the architecture obviously dwarven, but with their history of the human connection they've had with some of the other residents of H.O.P.L.I.T.E.S, a beautiful mix of dwarven architecture mixed with human architecture gives you the city of Covern. As you look around the architecture, you see it's something that you would see deep inside a dwarven mind. You've all heard stories. Some of you have seen things with your own eyes. But all around you, stone pillars, holding up a beautiful ceiling above you, similar to when Hector, you and Cercius went to visit Lathander. A similar temple-esque area where, in the center of this, the teleportation circle lie. And as you appear, your vision immediately looks north, towards the many, many mountains of the Uncharted North. You have a brief moment where you are standing here with the cool wind rushing against all of your faces, before you hear a low, gravelly voice call out to you. You turn, and you see a roughly 4 to 4.5 foot tall dwarf, clad in iron armor, wielding an axe that he leans forward on as he looks to you all. He leans back off of it, kind of puffs his chest out. I presume you are the H.O.P.L.I.T.E.S. Am I correct?
Yes.
Wyrmbreaker's been waiting for you. And I would be more than happy to deliver you. Please, follow me. He turns and begins to walk down a staircase that is affixed on the outer side of this tower. As you follow him to walk down, nothing is preventing you from a sheer drop.
Is this wide enough for Abe?
Abe kind of goes up to it, stays kind of close to the side, but it is wide enough for him. But as you all walk down, you get the feeling that the Wyrmbreakers like to live a little on edge. But as you walk down this tower, your surrounding area begins to be enveloped by other dwarven architecture. More stone buildings that are built almost a little askew. It's not perfectly straight, like you have seen with some of the other grand cities. But as you descend, you begin to hear just the lowest chanting. It sounds like a whole bunch of dwarven partygoers are well into a verse of some hymn that seems to be popular around here. But as you follow this guard, he takes you before a grand door that is already partially open. As you walk in, you can hear the chanting louder. They sing a song. The only one of you that can understand it, I believe, is Hector, unless anyone else speaks Dwarvish.
I do too.
So the two of you,
special.
the two of you, hear a hymn about the name Wyrmbreaker. Through this, you hear, or you can put together, the story of the great Brun Wyrmbreaker, the one who conquered the White Dragon, Silmargaren. The chanting only lasts for maybe about 15 seconds after you cross the threshold into this grand hall, before on the far, far side, sitting amidst an iron throne, with the jaw of a dragon at his foot, and the skull of the dragon above him, you see Drundall Wyrmbreaker. He stands up, mug in hand, holds it out in your direction. You can smell the sweet aroma of mead, and you can see it as it leaves the edge of his flagon and hits the floor as he shouts out, "Ha ha! Ha ha ha! H.O.P.L.I.T.E.S, please, come in. We've been awaiting your arrival. This is a typical day in the life of a Wyrmbreaker king. But as heroes, I'm sure you know all about this kind of life. Am I right? Anyways, fetch my friends a drink." He calls out. The dwarf that led you in walks away, and a dwarf comes up to you all with a flagon of mead for each of you. What do you do?
I'll take it. Yeah.
All right.
I'll take it, but I won't drink.
Okay. As you are handed the mead, the chanting has died down, and all the dwarves around these long tables to your left and to your right, they wait for Drundall Wyrmbreaker to speak more. And next to Drundall in his giant dragon skull throne, to the right of him, you see the familiar face of Hamuk. his son, Prince of Sarum. Drundall calls out, "When you get your drinks, please come speak with me." And as you all walk forward, passive insight, I believe, is our cleric.
My passive
I got a
insight is
13.
22.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
17.
Read people like a book.
So, you said 17, Tyler?
Yeah.
Okay.
17.
12.
12 and 13, Dylan?
13.
Okay, so Cerseus and Rona. As you walk forward, you see Drundall's eyes are aglow with finally having the chance to host the famous H.O.P.L.I.T.E.S in his hall. His son Hamuk, however, seems annoyed. You're not sure at what, Cerseus, but Rona, it's almost that look that you see when a couple is arguing and then they have to stop their argument and focus on what's going on. He seems pretty annoyed, possibly towards his father. But nonetheless, as you all approach and you get closer, his demeanor changes and the facade comes alive. He stands up, looks to you all, smile, arms out, greeting you all just like his father. But as you approach, Drundall holds up his flagon. "To the H.O.P.L.I.T.E S! And many more successful adventures!" And he drinks.
I will take a small sip.
All right, John? Small
Just
sip.
kind
Hector?
of drinking away.
I'm just gonna toast it and then bring it back down.
All right, and Cerseus.
Cerseus would look at Hector to make sure that he doesn't drink any, because he's the one that could save us with healing hands. And notice that, and then he'll take a sip.
Okay. As he has this toast, you see Hamuk kind of treat it the same way that you do, and you as well, just a little sip before he comes back down. But as Drundall, he chugs the rest of his mead.
Well, I can't let you do that alone, and I'll start chugging too.
Ha ha! It is great to have you all here. So, in front of my most trusted allies and my son, Hamuk, I wish to formally introduce you to Covern, the capital of Sarum, the kingdom of the Wyrmbreaker! Ha ha! The dwarves kind of cheer, throw a flagon up in the air as a toast. You hear some of them drink, some of them start to beat the wooden table and kind of start to just chant. There's a lot of energy here in Sarum. But Drundall holds his hands out to calm the crowd once more. So you have come to aid us in a problem we have been facing from our brothers and sisters in the north. The Children of Skyraeus. In the past, we have been mostly peaceful with them. But in the last year, they began to raid our northern villages and towns. Alingvar, a town northmost of Sarum, and Gorazar, one of our mines. They have been brave and have attacked homesteads in between these two places and around the north. They dare not come close to Covern, however. We cannot continue to allow Sarum's wonderful people to be treated like this. We have sent scouting parties to meet with our children of the north. And in most cases, they do not return. Certain tactics are used where they shield themselves within the darkness of the northern woods. But word of your triumphs over the past year or so, a lot of eyes have fallen onto the H.O.P.L.I.T.E.S. So, I am glad to host you here. If the hoplites are up for the challenge, all of Covern, myself and my son included, call upon you to venture into the Uncharted North and deal with the Children of Skyraeus, however you see fit. If this task is completed, and I can trust that my northern kingdom is safe, then I will triple the number of troops we have already given to your cause, Hector. And Ironcrest will be yours again. What do you say, Hoplites?
I think we can handle it.
We'll take care of the Children of Skyraeus. They won't bother you anymore.
Ha ha! The Hoplites have spoken.
So it's at this point, two of you, yeah, the two of you kind of share a look. Wyrmbreaker is far more interested in Hector than any of you.
Mm-hmm.
You also know that Hector's Ironcrest shares a dwarven history. A lot of kinship between these two families. Has been for a long time. But I'll say with your high insight, Rona, the Hoplites might just be synonymous with Stoneborn in the eyes of Drundall. Hamuk, however, as he kind of sat back down during Drundall's speech, and still has that look of annoyance, but when any one of you kind of look in his direction, his demeanor changes just to throw up this facade. But as you look away, you do kind of glance back at him briefly, and that face does change back down to a very annoyed Hamuk Wyrmbreaker. But as Drundall announces that the Hoplites have spoken, the hall cheers once more. Their flagons pound on a table as you hear a ho 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 ho. Drundall holds up his hands once more. We shall save all of our energy. A true serum victory party for when you return. For I look forward to hearing the story of how the Hoplites conquered the Children of Skyraeus, saved Serum from the unseen enemy who they thought was a friend. And how the story will conclude with the reconquering of Ironcrest. So, with you all here, please, pull up a table for my guests. They deserve to sit right in front. You hear the scraping of wood on the stone floor as a couple of tables are pulled up right in front of the Wyrmbreaker throne. Chairs are quickly follow after, and you all have a table enough for everyone to sit. Food will be out shortly, but please sit. Let us talk. And do not worry. Anything can be said in front of me, my son, and all of Serum. They all shout and chant once more in support of their great king. And he sits back down inside the mouth of this deceased dragon.
So, quick question about how everything is set up. Is there like a dais and then his throne is up there and then we are low, like on the ground level?
You're
with
like
this
a couple
table?
steps lower. Just a
Okay,
couple. So, yeah.
Okay.
And
It's similar-
Were we front and... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Were we front and center?
Oh, yeah. When you were talking to him, yes. Yeah. You
So,
walk
all
down, he
attention-
asked you to approach. Yep. All attention was already on you. Yep.
Crap. Okay, I was gonna see if like during his speech I could have snuck away to go talk to the sun, but
He's looking at you. And the sun is like 5 feet right next to him. But the table's brought out, and very quickly after you all sit down, food is brought out to you. A magnificent dwarven feast. Mostly made of meat. But nonetheless, it is bountiful and it tastes good. You are supplied with free food, free meat, so eat and drink as much as you wish. So, he sits receptive to all of you for any questions, concerns, comments. He eats a rather large drumstick of mutton, and his flagon of mead is refilled rather frequently. But does anyone have anything they wish to ask King Drundall Wyrmbreaker?
Yeah. I have a couple questions.
Go ahead.
So you said you haven't heard from any of your scouting troops. Has diplomacy been extended? Has anybody been able to talk to them at all?
Around midway through your question, he starts to drink, but he drinks off to the side to keep an eye on you. A couple drops of mead kind of go down his beard and stay and glisten in the torchlight in his room.
Nice.
But
Classy dude.
takes his flagon down. At first, we tried to send up a diplomatic party. One of them returned. Said they are not to be bargained with. So we tried again. None returned. After that, we sent a couple just to spy on them, and once again, none of them returned either. The Sarah mercenaries and their armies work in very traditional ways. But the H.O.P.L.I.T.E.S surprise everyone. So we're hoping you are more successful.
Is diplomacy preferred?
He drinks again. Finishes his flagon. And slams it down on the iron armrest of his chair. More! However you wish to deal with them. As long as they do not bother Sarum again, I will be happy.
Can I roll an insight check?
Go ahead.
I would like to know if he would be more than happy to hear of their death.
I'd like to know if he is a liar.
I would like to know if he's full of crap. 27.
He seems to harbor some disdain for the Children of the North. It almost comes across as a how dare they type of impression. He's ready for you to handle this. When he says handle, he never wants the possibility of them to cause problems ever again.
Okay.
But he seems true to his word that it is your decision.
Mhm. I would like, if I could, see how his son is reacting to his responses to me.
Okay.
My eyes are on the sun the whole time.
I'll say when you were inside or
you had to focus on Drundall and all of his mannerisms. Cerseus, roll me an insight check for Hamuk.
That's a 25.
25. Beautiful. You notice that every time that Drundall speaks harshly or in a totalitarian-like manner, Hamuk drinks more from his flagon. When Drundall last spoke, Hamuk glanced over to his father and just the slightest eye roll before he looked back over to the right. He seems kind of disconnected from the conversation that you all are having, but he's still there, listening.
Okay. I'm just gonna keep my eye on him for now.
All right.
See if he goes
I will
anywhere.
ask him a question.
Yes, Hector.
So, these children, how many are there?
As he ponders that thought for a second, a pitcher is brought over to him. A dwarven man dressed in kind of neater attire, definitely kind of a king's servant, if you will, comes over and pours more mead into his flagon. He takes it away when it's pretty much all the way to the brim filled. Begins to drink. Pulls back after a couple seconds.
Hundreds, at least. I do not think their number reaches into the thousands, but definitely hundreds.
All right.
I do not
Then-
expect you all to deal with all of them, but they are a pathetic bunch. Deal with a leader or two. That should break them up enough. Won't be organized after that.
Goes back to drinking.
I'm gonna mind link with Eldon.
Yeah.
He's kind of fucked. We may not be getting a full story from him, but his son. Perhaps we could talk to him.
Eldon will just nod. Just kind of timing it with like what Drundall's saying.
Yeah.
Kind of just like, yeah, okay, I got you.
Okay. You guys just kind of go along with this for now. Any other questions for the king or his son?
Eldon has a question.
Yeah.
What type of leadership do they have? Is it theocratic? Is it monarchy? What are we dealing with?
So when you begin to ask this question, he's in another drink.
Yeah.
But when you list off the couple different types of diplomacy,
Oh,
this
no.
flagon slams down.
I was asking like how it's set up. Is it like they're led by a priest? They're led by like a
Yeah.
king? Stuff like that.
But he slams his flagon down, and mead kind of spits out towards you guys. It's falling just short of the table that you're sitting at.
They're savages. As far as it goes for leaders, I imagine maybe one might be able to lift a pig more than the other one. This is maybe why diplomacy didn't work out for our past groups, but they only win because they know the North. But they haven't met the H.O.P.L.I.T.E.S yet.
We've dealt with such creatures in the past.
Well, I'm sure you'll handle them all the same. So, as far as it goes for a leader, I don't know. Maybe 1, 2, a council. I doubt a council. But maybe look for the one. Maybe look for the one who might smell the best. Maybe that's the leader.
Some behind you guys laugh with him. He speaks very loud. His voice carries very far in this hall. The questions you ask might not be heard by those behind you now, but every response he's given has been loud and filled the room to where, at a point where it kind of echoes back to you almost a little bit. He's a very loud dwarf.
Is he getting louder the more he drinks?
A
Or is he
little bit.
Staying about the same.
A little bit.
A little louder. Okay.
Could I get a read to see if Drundall is like severely underestimating these people, or if he's overestimating himself in this? When I'm asking these type of questions.
You can roll me an insight check.
Not my greatest skill, but here we go. 13.
13. It does come off as a big ego. You think, if anything, there might be some underestimating. Of what he's telling you, it doesn't seem like he knows a lot about the Children of Skyraeus, but he doesn't think highly of them at all. You can definitely tell that. That's something enough for everyone to tell. Any other questions for the king?
What other abilities do you know that they have? What should we expect when we go in there?
Arrowheads, spear tips, the usual savage bunch. Nothing too much. But they're sneaky. Be careful.
Well, then what has kept you from taking this back before? What has gone wrong? I want to know so we don't go up there and make those mistakes.
He looks over to his son.
I don't know. Why haven't we? Hamuk?
Hammock kind of looks over.
Cersei's just be like,
There.
oh shit.
Push the
There
button.
it is.
Oh,
There it is.
Hammock looks over. And he stands up. Looks his father dead in the eye. Drinks the rest of his mead. Steps over, puts it on the table.
Because maybe, Father, violence isn't the answer to everything. Brothers and sisters of ours in the past, and as far as I can see in the future as well. We do not kill kin.
And he walks off.
Ooh.
As he walks away, Drundall stands up.
Maybe you should stay and learn a lesson, boy. And one day, you can understand what it means to be king. You need an iron fist, not a soft heart. Anyways, Hoplites, apologies for my son.
He finishes his drink once more, slams it down.
More! And please, more for my new friends, please.
Even though no one said they have been drinking, pitchers of mead come out to you, and as they look to flagon, so I'm guessing no one's really drank anything,
Not very much.
they just kind of fill you up a little bit, and leave the flagons there.
Are you insulting us?
or leave the pitchers there, and they kind of awkward and quickly get out of the scene. But Drundall just does not care. He looks back to you all as if nothing happened. He turns back to Cerseus.
By trying to appease those that I care about, we have decided not to invest too much into the problem in the north. Hamuk wanted more covert means. I met him halfway. And here we are. The Hoplites have come to help us. However you see fit, I've given you that option, have I not? If it is violence, kill them all. If it is diplomacy, best of luck. However, judging from our past attempts, I don't think it will be diplomacy. Wait until an arrow shoots into one of your eyes. You can only try to talk to a savage long enough before they get tired of hearing you talk. Anyways, Anything else, hoplites? Please enjoy your stay here in Covern.
Sir, I appreciate you giving us every option. You definitely made it open to where we can handle it the way we need to. But I'd like to go talk to your son a little bit, if that's all right.
Nah. I will not tell any of the hoplites that they cannot do something in Covern, unless it's illegal, of course. But, please, if you want to go, comfort my weeping boy, go ahead. If you wish to stay out here and chat with the kings, the hoplites, the best damn dwarves and men in Sarum, then you may stay here. But
Thank you for your permission.
he's probably out there on his favorite balcony overlooking the north. He's a very sentimental boy. Best of luck.
I'll
Thank you.
I'll give Rona like a little nudge with my elbow and kind of like tap the side of my head.
Okay. As you do that, Cerseus, you stand up, excuse yourself, and you follow out the way that you saw Hamuk Wyrmbreaker leave.
All right.
You signal to Rona for something kind of obvious.
I will mind link with Eldon.
Oof.
I can distract him by drawing up some stories about the skull over there. If you want to go talk to Hammock for a bit.
Yeah, go for it.
And I'll just wait patiently for Eldon to get him talking.
Okay. Anything while this is going on, Hector?
Yeah, Hector was going through plans in his head. I guess like before, like when they're talking, I'll ask. So, travel. Do you have any circles that lead that way, or are we on foot? The best.
I will be able to teleport you and all the hoplites up to Allingvar. The most important buildings are still untouched by the Children of the North, but I will have my son take you to the Frozen Trail, the path that leads into the Uncharted North. It goes on for a couple of miles before, well, it becomes uncharted. But beyond the path's end, you will find the children. Roughly a day or so travel into the mountains. But your arrival there, rather quick.
All right.
Eldon, do you wish to spark up conversations of grandeur and glory?
Yeah, I was just touching up on it. So, Mr. Drundall, what's the story of the skull? Did you kill it yourself?
More!
Very quickly, someone comes over, fills up their his flag, and he grabs it.
Where are you from?
I'm from Radesh,
Ah,
Cain Alligard.
Radesh! I understand your confusion. You look at where I sit, in the gaping maw of what once was a grand dragon, a great flying worm in the sky, bested by my ancestor. Long ago, when Tirafel was first founded by Garad and his 13. A name that my ancestors once held that we do not utter ever again after the great feat that was breaking the worm. We ventured into what will one day become Sarum. What is Sarum? But my ancestor, Brun Wyrmbreaker, conquered the white dragon, Silmargaren, and to do so, 7 days, 7 nights. This white dragon and Brun fought tirelessly. But by the end, Silmargaren had enough. His spirit, his body, broken by the great Wyrmbreaker! Silmargaren pleaded for death, but Brun did not grant him his wish. He told him, "I will kill you, you giant beast, but first, I will conquer you." That day, Brun Wyrmbreaker crawled on the back of Silmargaren and flew the white dragon up into the sky. As he veered him downward and plummeted him to his death. Insult to injury, the true Wyrmbreaker fashion. From that day, Brun and all his descendants gained the name Wyrmbreaker. And this, the very skull of Silmargaren! He reaches up, kind of pats a tooth. As you see, in Sarum, we were founded by greatness, founded by strength, determination, and a whole lot of mead. And now, as the hoplites sit in front of me, it was my honor to recount the story of my ancestor, Brun Wyrmbreaker. So, my Rodeshi friend, that is where all of this came from. Make a stealth check.
I'm trying my best over here.
Do I get advantage? Because he's helping?
You proficient in stealth?
No, but what I was gonna do is I was gonna grab the.
Roll me a just a charisma check
Oh,
for your interest in the story as he's telling it.
13.
13, I'll give you advantage.
I was like, charisma, no.
18.
18, okay.
Once he finishes it, I'll grab the pitcher instead of the flagon and go, round of cheers to Brun and the boys, and I'll start slamming the pitcher, and I'll invite Drundall to slam the pitcher as well.
Okay.
That's up there.
Okay, that easy. As you raise up your flagon.
No,
you
not the
raise-
flagon. The whole pitcher they left on the table.
Oh, you're down and
Yeah, I'm trying to get him to down the pitcher because it's a lot bigger in his eyes.
All right. As you lift up the pitcher and go, Wyrmbreaker immediately gets up. Wait. He goes for the other pitcher. To the Wyrmbreakers! And he just roll me a Constitution. Let's do a. Roll me a saving throw. Con saving throw.
Okay.
You get the Dylan bonus.
That is, what is it, +6 to the bonus?
Yes, +6.
All right.
35.
You.
Oh, snap!
You keep up with Drundall very well. The two of you just like chugging these pitchers. Hector, you realize it's just you and Eldon at the table at the moment. So, you and Cerseus have slipped away. Cerseus first. You walk out and you hear the chanting of the hall as they're cheering for just the various things that Drundall is saying. But as you walk kind of out and around this corner, the chanting dies down rather quickly. As you see Hamuk, Wyrmbreaker, through a massive archway, kind of leaning on a railing, looking out towards the north. The same view that you guys first saw when you teleported here in Sarum, in Covern. So, you see him his short stature for being a dwarf, it's still intimidating. Him and his father. They're rather big dwarves. They're over 5 feet, the both of them. Drundall, as he kind of leans forward, they both have long beards, whereas Drundall's is long and braided multiple times over. Hamuk's is shorter with just one kind of singular braid that reaches down to about his navel area. As you walk up, what do you say?
All right, so who is it?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Who is it? You don't have that much passion just for savages.
No.
There's got to be somebody up there.
I think you misunderstand, H.O.P.L.I.T.E.
No, I don't misunderstand. I just wanted to make an excuse to start the conversation.
It is not one.
Why do you-
It is not a singular person. The children of Skyraeus are our cousins. They always have been.
So what made them turn savage?
Do you know who Skyraeus is?
Not a clue.
The children of Skyraeus. They worship a storm giant that is said to be in the north, atop the tallest peak in the Uncharted. He, Skyraeus, if legend is true, is a valiant and courageous leader. One that actually looks out for common folk, if you will. Dwarves, men, even elves. Anyone that graces the land that he calls his own, he looks after as if, well, they are his children. Why? I don't know. I've never met him. But the children are cousins. They once shared the Wyrmbreaker name too. In my father's eyes, they are disgraced. In the kingdom's eyes, they are willing outcasts. They wanted to segregate themselves, separate themselves, secede from Sarum, and start something that, well, that everyone else would call crazy for wanting to follow. A life in the north. I understand the cold, but in the Uncharted North, it is uncharted for a reason. The temperature can get rather ferocious, even for a dwarf.
If they decided to go up there on their own volition, you can't just change them. It was their choice. You have to show them their choice was wrong. So what could we do to maybe make that happen?
They have been the children of the North for hundreds of years. Skyraeus has watched out for them for all of that time. But you walk up at this point, Rona, and you see Cerseus kind of speaking with Hamuk. As you walk up, do you want to try to stay quiet and hear what he's saying, or do you want to walk up and introduce yourself?
I will hang back and let him finish talking, like, in the phrase he's in, and then I'll step up.
Okay. As he speaks, he continues. We've been at peace with them for hundreds of years. Something in this last year has happened to cause them to break. It is painful to watch. The stories that I hear from Alangar. It is sad. Gaunt warriors taking nothing more but grain. Meat, livestock, things they need. So, I don't look at the children of the North as enemies. I look at them as old allies that are suffering And this rift of pride is pride. It always is a dwarf's biggest weakness. As you know, he kind of turns to Cerseus, and that's when he sees you. Oh, Rona. Please, come.
It sounds like the people you speak of are starving.
As I walk up.
I would imagine they are. Anything that is not accounted for in any of their raids, it is necessities. It always is. But my father, he is prideful, arrogant, a great leader. Do not misquote me, but when dealing with sensitive terms, he becomes very insufferable. It is my belief that the children of the North need guidance or help or something, for they are not acting in their own right mind. Do I know what they need? No, I don't. Has diplomacy failed us in the past? Yes, it has. But if we could get to the root of the cause, there might be something there.
He kind of strokes his one braided beard.
But I don't know what it could be. For the past year, the storm has raged on in the Uncharted North. Every night, every morning, in the horizon I see gray, dark, churning clouds.
It's not abnormal.
For a storm in the north to be that consistent, yeah.
I think there's something else that's just divided them. If we could go in and stop that without even attacking them, maybe they'd let us go through.
That might be true. Maybe. I don't know. Me, myself, I have not been up there. My father, through his arrogance and his overconfidence, he does not want me to approach the north too far. He fears for my life. And he may be right. Maybe the children of Skyraeus would love the head of a prince, a Wyrmbreaker. But I do not know. None of you are from Serpent. Allow me to tell you a little of our history. Yes, there once was a mad dwarf by the name of Brun who caught the name Wyrmbreaker. What the story leaves out is that he did not fight that dragon alone. He fought it with his brother Ivar. Ivar and Brun took down Silmarillion. Brun was the one that rode him. After the battle, the people chose Brun as their rightful king and granted him the name Wyrmbreaker. Ivar too got this name, but he did not see it right that they conquered Silmarillion together, but only one of them would get to rule. Brun took on the mantle of king, and Ivar went away. Went into the north. And that was it. We know that as far as it goes for leadership within the Children of the North, we do not know if they have a council or one king, as my father said, but we do know there is a name that is common up there. Stormcaller. Stormcaller. That is a descendant of Ivar. In other words, family. So no, I do not see murder as the way to solve this problem. Blood is blood. That is my personal belief, anyways. I could not harm family unless it really had to come down to it. If I have the option, I would use words. Always. But my father does not see it that way. But I'm glad that he brought you in. I've heard of your stories of the H.O.P.L.I.T.E.S. The vampire in Canumbra, the deal with the 212th on voyage to Uthal. You dealt with the problem.
With diplomacy.
So I've heard. I do not worry about you all going up north. I only want to set expectations of what the north might be. One day I will be king, when my father passes. But until that day, I do not have control over the situation like he does. But since he chose you, who knows, maybe the children of Skyraeus will be dealt with in a manner most appropriate.
I'm sure you'll be a great king one day. But something I think I've learned along my travels is sometimes you have to sacrifice the few to save the many. I know you said you couldn't harm one of them, but if we can get down to the center of the problem and save them, but there's one person blocking, that one person may be the one you have to sacrifice for the rest. So I don't want you to sit here and think that we can do this with perfect diplomacy. There will have to be blood somewhere. But I hope we can do it with at least the least amount of spilled blood.
That is all I ask. I understand that they are near Pharaoh at this time. So, danger will probably still be in the scenario. However, I trust you, H.O.P.L.I.T.E.S.
Have the children of Skyraeus spilled any blood here?
Besides the ones that ventured into the north, no.
So the raids have been simply for food and necessities.
Yes, someone might have an injury here or there, but in every case, they were defending their livestock, their food, whatever it may be. So they did clash with the children, but the children of the north, they did not see it necessary to kill them. So, who knows?
I don't think they're as gone as you think, but I also think they're more far gone than you want them to be.
Whatever happens,
This is going to be
H.O.P.L.I.T.E.S.
tough.
No, undoubtedly. Bear with my father for now. For I cannot.
Of course.
Back in the hall. Hector, when you notice that Rona isn't there, what do you do?
Just look over us. I'm sure she knows what she's doing. Then I'll just sit back and just headache gross. Well, I wait for
Continue.
waiting for everything to die down so I can get on my own. I would try to ask Mr. Wyrmbreaker about I guess what time of day is it?
I think it's close to midday, isn't it?
I thought we left fairly close to morning,
I thought so.
so it's probably midday.
Yeah, because I
Ish.
mean, wait, no, Hector woke up a little late because of the partying, and then that happened.
This is
and
the-
then,
We spent the night they spent the
Yeah,
night
we spent
at
the night at the
tower,
tower.
Tower.
and then I showed up, and then we left.
You did, so it is morning. I would say it's probably maybe 11 or so.
Wow, they're party hardy.
The
and
man's
brunch.
plastered at 11 a.m.
This is the greatest brunch.
Dream
ever.
come true right there.
You get it done.
Man, I thought we were having an emotional talk on the balcony, like in the dark
At
and all
night.
that.
Oh,
like-
no.
High noon.
Yeah. It's high noon.
It's
Still beautiful, though. I mean, man.
Right.
Anyways,
Just ends the conversation. All right, now go get some sleep. It's daytime,
Wyrmbreaker.
Cerseus. I know.
I know.
So you and Drundall finish chugging.
Mhm.
You're definitely feeling it. That was a lot. But the way that their mead is, it's not super strong. It is very tasteful. But you feel like it might be made a specific way in order to drink a lot more instead of a lot less to get drunk. Because drinking seems to be a hobby that they enjoy. So they would want to do it as much as possible. While it is, well, after drinking the pitcher, you definitely feel it. You could tell flagon per flagon, it's not super hard, but a sweet mead nonetheless, and very heavy on the belly. So, you finish, you pound the pitcher down on the table, Drundall right behind you. You might have Wyrmbreaker blood within you, H.O.P.L.I.T.E. He has a moment to kind of look around. Where did Hoplites! Hoplites, everyone! The back starts to pound on the tables again. It's just a happy bunch of people.
Dude, it's
he looks to
so
you.
much passion.
He looks to you, Hector, as you are petting Icaros. So, Hector of Stoneborn. More! Tell me how you founded the Hoplites. Is it the dwarven heritage that led your plight to become one of the most famous people across all of Tirafel? You are king, after all, of one of the greatest kingdoms in all the lands. Iron Crest of Elveron. Elveron! So, when you founded the Hoplites, please, did they were they excited to work with you as king?
I'm so glad I'm not there.
Homeboy is gone.
It's super funny.
so tell me.
Weren't as much excited as they all have good hearts, so they saw the need to fix a problem, something we share. I guess that's the thing that binds us together. See a problem, we fix it.
Your humble nature, something a dwarf could never have. That's where your God-touched human side really comes out, and I love that about you. He kind of grabs your head and just like, The flagon is brought to him. He says, more for my friend too. Your name?
Doesn't really matter right now. We're drinking buddies.
More for the Hoplite number 1. He goes to drink as a flagon's brought to you too. Corner of your eye, you can even see Icaros roll his eyes.
I got one goal and I'm doing it well.
He downs that flagon.
So, how soon would you like to venture out and deal with these children of Skyraeus?
Seeing the time of day and how much we have to travel tomorrow morning. Spend the rest of the day preparing everything we need, since it's going to be rather unfriendly weather.
All day! Drink your mead! The hoplites are here to stay! Ha ha ha! You hear more pounding on the tables behind you. Hamuk outside on the balcony. If I may, Rona and Cerseus. I'm going to take a walk, clear my head. Whenever you all are ready to go to the north and deal with the Children of Skyraeus, please, someone will notify me. I will guide you to the frozen trail to the point where I can no longer follow you. After that point, it will be the four of you and your bestial companions. But I'm going to take a walk, maybe a small drink, but clear my mind and go back to the politicking that is my relationship with my father. So, please enjoy our mead. Our food is good and our people are very prideful and great. My father,
It's also very prideful.
don't let your teeth hurt too hard from all the gritting you will have to do. But best of luck, Hoplites. They will call for me when you are ready. So please enjoy today. Goodbye.
Go clear your head, and we'll keep you updated. Thanks for everything you've given us.
He stops after about being 15 feet away, turns. The Wyrmbreakers have some strong blood. He's tall. He turns to you. Thank you, Hoplites. And turns back, walks away, and the two of you return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on. How invested are you in keeping King Drundall happy and drunk?
Oh, if we're gonna be here all day, I'm gonna see if I can outdrink him. I'm gonna do a pit. I'm gonna just do chugging contests with him the entire time.
Roll me a charisma saving throw.
Charisma! Oh no. I'm assuming a 5 fails, so I'm gonna use Indomitable because
You can do that.
yeah, because that's one thing I can do for this.
Don't forget +6.
That's true.
It's 20 total.
Okay. So, you aren't convinced as much as this is actually something that you kind of want to do. Keeping the king in his little
Bubble.
echo chamber bubble. But he stands up on your table,
Oh my gosh.
reaches down his forearm to grasp yours and pull you up as well.
Bring us 2 more pitchers!
You see these dwarven servants come out. Here you go, sir. He looks to you, Hector, just like the worry in these guys' eyes. They step away. Now, Drundall, who is almost as tall as you, and about twice your width, holds out his arm to clasp arms with you as the two of you drink from these massive pitchers.
Oh yeah,
So as
Just-
you do that con saving throw, you can add the bonus from Dylan.
30 total.
Oh yeah,
Bonus.
You're keeping up with them. You're keeping up with them. So, Hector, in front of you, you're seeing the most party hardy that Eldon's ever been.
Also, I will note, Eldon has not looked at Gideon this entire time they've been here. It's even now when he can see him, he's just looking at the ceiling.
Hector,
Or
roll
he's
me an
looking at
insight. What's your passive insight?
Passive insight is 13.
13. Something. Well, I'll let you. If there's anything you want to tell Hector from his passive insight.
Clearly, he's got something on his mind, and it's somewhat tied to you because you can tell he's kind of just avoiding your gaze any chance he can. But like drifts across, it's like it keeps moving past to somebody else or something else, and he's just chugging with Drundall.
So, as you and Drundall chug away at these pitchers full of mead, Rona and Cerseus, you arrive back in the hall to see this image.
Run. What has he done? What?
This might be
Oh
my fault.
no.
Oh no.
What?
I'm going to like quietly walk back to the table and slip in beside Hector
Mm-hmm.
and mind link with Eldon. I'm back. You can stop.
If you're chugging, just
While he's doing that, can I look for someone who I would consider like part of his like council, like an advisor?
okay. Roll me either an intelligence check. Actually, roll me a
There's
perception.
always that
check.
one like smart person sitting in the back watching him, who's controlling that kind of stuff. Sorry, what kind of check?
Perception.
14.
Okay. So as you look around, there is someone not really behind the Wyrmbreaker throne or off to the side of it, but actually behind you now, kind of off towards one of the tables that kind of go the length of the hall. He is standing near one of the pillars closest to this end, the end closer to you. He gives off the impression of a scholar of the arcane, as his robes look similar to robes that you've seen on other wizards of sorts. But you do see him. He is not jovial and up and dancing on the table like the rest of the people here are, but he is off to the side, arms crossed, just looking over your head at King Drundall Wyrmbreaker.
Stand up and go talk to him.
All right. You approach. When you get about maybe 15 feet away, his gaze leaves from Drundall and goes to you. What do you say?
Reach out my hand. Gideon. In low light.
He reaches out his hand, grasps your forearm. Clarence Morningspark.
Clarence.
Cool name.
Morning spark though. So good.
Looking to procure supplies for the trip starting tomorrow. Can you help me get that settled?
Hamuk has already assisted with that matter. He has everything at 4 in your party, correct? And at 2 booths?
Right.
Yes. He,
Snow griffin, so it's used to the snow. It's used to the cold, but the direwolf might find issue.
You will be taken care of, I assure you. Hamuk has packed a magical bag full of a plethora of tasty dwarven foods, and even some for your beasts as well. A compass should you get lost, etc., etc. Everything you would need for the north. I surveyed him, made sure that everything was double checked, and you should be set.
Good to hear. Just needed a check. Thank you.
As he says to you, what do you think of Covern? What do you think of Wyrmbreaker's rulership?
It's different. I don't really see a problem with it. He matches the energy of his people. He seems to care about them.
They are very powerful
Also grand.
people.
I have respect for him. Never hasn't given me a reason to doubt him yet. It is different than the Dwarven architecture found in Alvaron. It's built more for withholding than to impress like this is, but still a beauty to it.
It is a amalgamation of dwarven and human architecture, and it really came out beautiful. That's the thing about H.O.P.L.I.T.E. Ever since our founding, there are many places in all of the kingdoms that resemble a wide variety of cultures. A lot of them from Ilamsara, but nonetheless, what you have in Sarum is actually unique. A blend more than you would see anywhere else. Well, maybe aside from Ironcrest. Ironcrest's architecture is very similar to Covern, no?
It's not as grandeur-ish, I suppose.
Ironcrest, it was founded by your ancestor, am I correct?
It was found by my ancestor Torval. It was built before we got there.
Your ancestor took the name Stoneborn. And I swear every dwarf across H.O.P.L.I.T.E. recognizes you as one of their own. As kin.
The people I'm proud to be a part of.
And we are proud to have you, Hector Stoneborn. As far as it goes for your venture out in the morning, as I heard you say, your supplies will be accounted for.
Let's scan the room. I guess, like, after you said Hamuk, I'll see if he came back or not.
You scan around. You do not see any trace of him. But now about half the dwarves are on the table dancing and drinking as Eldon and Drundall finish their second pitcher. He finishes the pitcher and then just chucks it down the middle of the hall and like kind of slaps you on your back to do the same.
Oh, I'm just a long arming it, just trying to hit the door on the other side of the room.
You both throw it. Roll me an athletics check.
That's a 19 on athletics.
He's rather close with his. The two of you chuck the pitcher. It goes about midway down the hall, clatters, and you see every dwarf standing on the table just, ha-ha! Everyone's just having a blast.
Rona, I don't know whether to be scared or excited. He's made friends with them, but again, he's made friends with them.
It's good for Eldon. He needs friends outside of us.
I'm worried for him if that's his choice of friends.
Nah. He can't hurt him.
That's true.
Let's get another round going, Drundle. Let's get another pitcher.
Roll me a
Oh boy.
persuasion check.
Like I say, he's kind of into it now. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna see if I can outchuck the king.
Eldon, is this such a wise idea?
That's a 17 on persuasion.
Okay.
More! Another pitcher for me and H.O.P.L.I.T.E. won! Ha ha!
Another pitcher is brought. The two of you are visible to him again. He says,
H.O.P.L.I.T.E. 2 and 3. You're back! Pitcher for them too.
and 4 pitchers within moments are brought out. One for you, one for Drundall, one for you, Cerseus.
I'm just gonna look at my flagon that's also full. I don't even think I could lift this, Eldon. No way. No way. Actor would literally kill me.
I'm gonna look at Cerseus and be like give it like the hand to hear emotion. Give me.
We do have Hector's healing hands. I'm gonna start chugging.
Oh yeah!
Oh, man.
I'm gonna slam it back as well. Just looking at Drundle being like, Cheers.
All
And
right.
just. Whew.
All right, so Cerseus chugging a pitcher. Eldon chugging a pitcher.
Yeah.
Drundall chugging a pitcher. Rona.
You can't persuade me to do this. I'm gonna sip on my flagon and judge. That's all I'm doing.
Rona judging from a distance.
No, from up close.
Hector, what are you doing?
She's getting meat all over everything too.
Oh, if he starts to spill, I'm standing.
I wanted to ask Morningstar one more question before I left.
Yeah, go ahead. As the others get their pitchers now, and you watch more chaos ensue. Go ahead with your question.
So about these children of Skyraeus, what's your opinion? What's their goal? What's causing them to do like this, act like this now?
It almost seems like madness. To act as an independent entity for so long, and then all of a sudden, you rely on raiding and pillaging. I don't know. A plague, a curse, unknown to me. I will say this, though. They did, from the reports, only take what they needed. Only ones that were injured were those that got in their way. And no deaths. The least recorded. So, I don't know. But I do not think it is for gain. I will say that.
Definitely doesn't sound like the motive of savages.
What is your opinion from everything you have heard, Stoneborn?
I don't believe Wyrmbreaker would agree with me, but doesn't. Sounds like desperation. But hopefully there's something wrong with him that we can get into. Besides having to cull an entire group of people. Or not have to walk that path.
I look forward to seeing what you and the Hoplites have in store for us. I am intrigued.
One more thing. They're the Children of Skyraeus. Who's Skyraeus?
Ah. The fabled, mythical storm giant of the north. One said to live atop the highest peak in the Uncharted North. Lately, I will say there have been unprecedented storms in the northern horizon. However, this myth of Skyraeus, I do not buy into much at all. It almost seems too good to be true. For the fabled Skyraeus, those that live in his land he would look after as if they were his children. When I hear that story, I think, I haven't been a child in some time. You will not put me to sleep with this, but some people like it. I don't know. I think it is bullshit. But the children of Skyraeus seem to think otherwise. If they want to worship an invisible magical being on the top of a mountain, by all means, they aren't hurting anyone. I mean, even with their raids. I mean, hurting a little bit, but for the most part, I let sleeping dogs lie until they bite. So, that is my opinion, Stoneborn.
All right. Thank you for your input. Then, enjoy the party. And I'll walk back to the table.
All right. As you walk back, they are finishing up their pitcher. Cerseus, Eldon, and very, very drunk Drundall Wyrmbreaker. Yeah, go ahead. Con saving throw, and neither of you get to use the Hector bonus.
Aha!
I get +1 on saves anyways.
Okay.
That's 16.
All right.
My first picture.
28.
28. Everyone looking okay. Still hanging in there. Cerseus, as you drank that much, you realize this is rather light. It tastes really good. It tastes sweet and filling. But as far as it goes for alcohol level, lighter than you thought. But judging by the culture of how much one can drink, that might be the point. So, as you finish, Drundall goes to jump off the table and lands. Sticks a landing.
Nice.
He jumps off, stumbles forth, almost trips over the
I'll be
lower
clapping
teeth.
for him.
Almost stumbles over the teeth of the lower jaw of Somagaren's skull. As he kind of stumbles into his massive iron throne, he plops back. Flagon for me, please, please. And another is brought to him. He picks up a drumstick, just bone. When did this happen? Give me another one! A very hearty dwarf. Definitely getting his fill. The hall seems to dwindle down, to calm down for some time. A low rumble of talks of the dwarves that are behind you, which is a mix of dwarves and humans, by the way. But the low rumblings of talks between them, Drundall just kind of taking in and enjoying the moment here. Hoplites, you were all still at your table with with Abe and Icarus attending. Anything that you guys wish to talk about? Drundall is there, but a little distant, so not really paying attention. If you wish to speak,
Cerseus has nothing to say. I mean, he can mention everything later.
Hector's gonna lean over to Rona.
all right.
He's gonna whisper. Well, the only one not drinking. I'm actually kind of surprised.
Oh, you gonna get slapped for that one.
Rona's just gonna kind of like glare at him a minute. Personal growth.
Proud of you. And I'll like put his arm around her.
She'll kind of like scooch in and take a sip out of her flagon.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Honeybeards is better.
Don't say that too loud.
You look up. You kind of look up to Drundall. He's just
Homeboy
just like chewing and looking over your heads. Just really, just like I'm the king.
My house.
Yeah.
Rona will kind of like lean to talk just to Hector.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that this is kind of a Vatul type situation, though.
I had that same feeling. Listening to, well, at least the Children of the North haven't ripped anyone in half.
That is true. They do have that going for them.
I was talking to one of his advisors, Warning Spark, back in the corner. I guess. Just sounds like they're desperate more than anything.
Sounds like they're starving.
That's what I was thinking. So, hopefully we don't have to, hopefully we can handle this in a good way.
I think we can.
How's Eldon looking right now? Is he like tipsy or drunk or just hanging out?
I don't know. I mean, I've a drink score of 21. I don't know how these pitchers are rating.
No, you're doing all right.
Okay.
I mean, it is a lot. You have more of a stomach ache than you do. You are drunk. I won't lie. You're drunk, but you've been worse off. Right now, you're more like, this is actually some pretty heavy stuff. Your stomach's a little full.
I got you.
Cerseus, you're feeling it a little bit too. this is some rich mead.
Still just Eldon's still standing on the table, and you see like the eyes are dim and then they brighten as he has somewhat of a drunken idea. He will crush the pitcher against his plate
Okay.
and just try to crumple it into a disc, and he will just like drop it at the table and will start to recite the tale of the Crackle-ith fight to everybody in the hall,
Okay.
because everyone seems to like a good story here.
Okay.
He noticed Rona and then got super blasted, and he was like, she must still be gone. I gotta keep going.
Do you want to enact this, or do you just want to roll a check?
So
If you enact this, inspiration point.
I'm thinking about how I'd go. Okay, so Eldon still just standing full up on the table, pulls out the Moonblade and will like make it shine bright, trying to get everyone's attention. We'll
As
go,
you do that, you can hear from behind you, and the hoplites can see Drundall. Just look
Shiny.
forward as the moon, as you hold up the moon blade and it shines its glow. Go ahead.
Seeing as everybody loves a good tale, how about I give y'all the story of how we fought a Kraken and Aboleth combo in the ice cold seas of the South.
Roll me a persuasion check
Oh,
or a performance
boy.
check. Your choice.
Persuasion.
Okay.
22. Since it all seems y'all love to have a good story, about I'll retell the story of us fighting a Kraken Aboleth in the frozen seas of the South. And I
Oh
will.
boy.
We were tasked by a king under the ocean, a great and magnificent city. And I'll just grab a flagon off the table and just
You reach
And
down,
throw-
grab your flagon.
just spike it onto the table as he like slams it back.
Some mead sprinkles just kind of go out to the three of you as you're sitting down.
So there we were, in the crushing depths of the bottom of the ocean, forging our ways into the darkness that lies, being told of this dreadful cult and the monster that lies beyond. We come across a great wall of thorns with our king, Hector Stoneborn, charging through the wall.
Through you hear Drundall just and the tables behind just kind of like when Drundall chokes it just kind of and then when he cheers again it's like
Oh no, I committed regicide by accident. Oh no.
This is going from bad to worse.
Oh no, not again.
So, just look at his picture. Look at Eldon. Put the picture down far away from him. Yeah, I'm done.
continue Eldon.
Using only the wits of a king, he forged his way through this regenerating wall that attacked us. Carving through, we were met with pitch black darkness. Before, this squid-like being appeared with a cult of merfolk around him. We slayed with a mighty battle. I myself went down once or twice from the fearsome beast, before Hector slashed it to death with his javelin. And then we forged our way back through blood and dangerous darkness, through abandoned ships, sunk far beneath the ocean, treasures spilling everywhere. And at this point, I'm just grabbing something to drink or eat at the table and just kind of, or just chugging it and just spiking it
These
back into the table.
servants are pretty much being on top of their game right now. Another pitcher is brought to the table.
And
So-
just, just slamming it. And
He's
he
gonna lead into Rona. I miss Ezekiel.
She'll just kind of giggle and keep watching Eldon.
All right, Eldon, continue.
slamming it. That's a 30 total after slamming that fourth pitcher.
I'm just waiting for him to be in the middle of the story and just crumple.
And we
So,
And then he's just gonna. I mean, that's basically the end of it, where it's just like giving details about the battle itself and how Hector was leading the charge and commanding the hoplites
Alright.
to fight and combat with tactics only such a battle-trained man can do.
all right. Take an inspiration point, Eldon. And
Yay.
because of your brave adventure
Good job,
into
Eldon.
RP, everyone gets one.
Ah, good job, Eldon.
Thank you.
Blast with 4 pitchers and 2 flagons
Yeah.
in. Let's go.
You just kind of like roll me a con saving throw as you're downing the second picture.
The
Or is
fourth
the next pitcher.
the fourth pitcher
The fourth
was
pitcher?
a 30.
You're still up, but like, oh man. Now doubles are starting to come into existence here. You're like, oh man.
The flagon he stole from Rona, she's just gonna grab that empty one back on the table and then use the pitcher and kind of like put a little in it and then hand him the pitcher.
You get a pitcher about 5/6 full.
Just gonna look at Rona, and then
You
go
keep
for the hell. Go for
Drundall
the fifth.
stands up with food half in his mouth. All right.
Fifth one.
Oh, yeah.
No, that
Oh,
is
no.
that's indomitable because that was an 18, and I said a failure for rolling an 18 on a con save.
You sit after.
Because if it is indomitable,
He gave you the inspiration for a reason.
no, that is 26
Okay.
for that fifth pitcher.
You're still hanging in there. You're definitely real drunk though. You hop down, kind of join your friends back sitting down. Quiet kind of comes over for a while. You all sit, eat. Actually just feels good to be here. You get up, walk around, enjoy each other's company a little bit. But for the most part, it almost feels like another day of vacation. With people that are kind of hardcore party goers. But nonetheless, once again, you enjoy today. When the night starts to approach, the hall still filled with all of Wyrmbreaker's friends and closest allies of Sarum. The torchlight is now the only thing illuminating the hall as darkness kind of comes over the land. When it gets quieter within Covern, you can hear distant rumbles from the north. The fabled storm. But as you all sit here, feasting, drinking, enjoying one's company, Drundall sits there. Hamuk approaches back at this time and, flagon in hand, moderately drinks. You hear from behind you the low voice of a dwarf. In between these two tables lies a rather big fire pit where pig upon pig upon pig are roasted on a spit. And as he kind of stands over it, hands on his sides, looking into the fire, he begins to sing with his low voice. When the dragon white the sky he calls, Wyrmbreaker rides and sings the halls. You can hear the others now begin to kind of join in as just a thud kind of starts to continue and beat and drove with the song. Sulmagarin's jaw sits dwarven pride. Sarum's rule, Wyrmbreaker guides. They repeat again, and for the little bit of time that you saw Hamuk kind of enjoy the ambiance, he gets up again, just a little overdone with the pride of today. And he heads out once more. But the day is near its end. As Hamuk disappears, Drundall sings along. A prideful people we are. It is great to have you in my whole H.O.P.L.I.T.E. Leader 1, 2, and 3, 4. Looks to Icarus. 5. Looks to Abe. Morning Spark. If you could take them to their wonderful hole that they will be staying in tonight. In the morning, meet here, and I shall guide you with the help of my son to the frozen trail, where you will then make your ha 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 ha, falls back into his seat. Morning Spark, who sounds sober as can be, comes up behind you all. Right. Follow me, please. He turns. Any last words to Drundall? Hamuk is nowhere to be seen at this time.
I don't think it would matter. He wouldn't remember them in the morning.
So, very well. As you all follow Morning Spark, he takes each of you to an individual room. Hector, yours is slightly bigger than everyone's.
Yay.
But 4 are given. Not all 4 have to be taken. So, you all find your rooms and where you will be sleeping for the night. And as you go in to rest, is there any last things you all wish to do? Anything you wish to speak amongst yourselves about, or anything before the following day?
Yeah, so I definitely followed Hector to the big room, right? And I will message everybody in the bracelet and see if we can all meet up in there for a few minutes just to talk about what the plan is for tomorrow.
Okay. So, with that, and as long as everyone is agreeing, does everyone go to the big room?
I will join.
So, everyone meets in Hector's big room, and his bed is twice as big as everyone else's.
That's not fair.
It's totally fair.
There's 2 of us. It needs to be bigger.
You got the nice bed over in New Iron Crest. I don't want to hear it.
Because I'm the king.
You think that makes you special to me?
Yes. Yes, it does.
So,
fine. I did.
All right, so I do think that it would behoove us to kind of talk about what the plan is for tomorrow and moving forward. Overall, when we don't plan, we do poorly. So let's maybe change the tide of that. So based on the information that Cerseus and I heard from Hamuk, they are definitely... I think they're raiding for necessities. I think they might be starving. I don't know what has changed to cause that.
The reports I heard from Dawn Spark, Morning Spark, sorry. They don't seem malicious in nature. Perhaps there's something we can help them with or give them that will help them from their desperation.
Based on what I read off of Drundall, he wants this solved in such a manner to where it never becomes a problem again. So we may have a hard time convincing him of that if we don't solve it solidly this first time, whatever the problem is. So just be aware of that.
Right. I don't doubt our ability to be able to resolve their issues. If we can do it diplomatically without bloodshed. I'm pretty sure Wyrmbreaker would believe me if I told him there will no longer be a problem, even if they're still there.
He'll listen to you over all of us.
Right.
I think you're the one who
It's-
needs to do talking from now on.
That's questionable. It's 4 of us, just not me. But anyways, it does look like, from what they're scouting, their lack of scouting reports tells us is that they could be hostile on site. So we do have to be aware of that. I know sneaking isn't really our strong suit, but do we have any other ideas so we can get in there without having to kill anyone?
We could announce our presence from the very beginning. That we have no intention to hurt them. I don't know if that would work, but it might.
It might be a long shot, but given their past and their similarities with the Wyrmbreakers and their kin, we might be able to show some force, some power, that they could have something to respect besides just trying to spy on them. Go in there, demand to see their leader. Something that they could respect instead of just trying to walk in their front door. You're right, should make an announcement of who we are.
Assuming we see them first, I guess.
It's true.
What say you, Eldon?
You are still feeling it a little bit, so just keep that in mind.
Ugh. Not too sure. I mean, it was a little cut and clear with the Vatul, where it was we wrestled each other to prove strength. And if he's saying to expect stealth, then well, I mean, I don't know. We can go scream and yelling, or we could just fight people, but not kill them. Show we mean business, but we're not for extermination. Yeah.
I mean,
I
that,
agree.
that might work. Yeah. Perhaps we just, what if we walk through the front door wielding the stuff that they need, like food? An offering of some type.
Sounds like your
Could,
department.
but
I could do that.
that is definitely an option, but we have to consider the fact that might make us more of a target. To see us carrying food, and then it's difficult not understanding the situation that they're in.
I personally think we have to play this stealthily. Go in, and if something happens, it's like I told Hamuk earlier. There may be a few in the way that we have to deal with. But if it saves the many, then it's worth the cost. I don't think we can risk the whole thing by trying to play friendly.
That is true.
Those are my thoughts. It's one of those times where we may look like bad guys, but if we get the job done, I think it will be understood what we were doing.
Well, they haven't killed anyone in the raids. I don't see why we would need to prepare to kill them in return.
I don't think so either, but if they get violent, then we will have to. I think we go in. If they're not violent, then great. If they turn violent, then unfortunately they will get in our way.
And then we do the non-lethal approach. It's technically a show of strength. They attack us, that we have enough strength to defend ourselves and win, but enough wherewithal to not kill. Wherewithal's the right word.
Right. So, I believe that sounds like our best plan of action. Walk in the front door. They come and talk to us, great. They come across as hostile. Handle them with non-lethal takedowns and hopefully get them to stop.
I do think we try to get as far as we can in without being seen. I don't want to make our presence known.
I would disagree by the thought that it's different from them to find us on their borders from them finding us within their borders. Be seen as much more of a threat.
Plus,
I
we're not
agree, but-
surrounded then. Right, we sneak in, we're surrounded on all sides, but if we go through the front door, there's only one way they can get to us.
But if we are successful in sneaking in, we have no problems at all. And I think if we let them know of our intentions beforehand, it just makes it harder for us in the long run if they say no.
Well, you heard what Drundall said. He sent spies up there. If we sneak in like them, then we're no different from their perspective. If anything, we're intruders trying to resume what they were doing. So being a more open approach, but still showing power and strength, will get us further in the door. Plus, if this Skyraeus giant's real, he'd probably much appreciate we didn't hurt his kids. So,
Warning Spark was on the idea that that's no more than a child's tale, but I guess that still stands to be seen. You've seen crazier.
All right. As you all sit in the big room, finish up talks of how to approach the next day, you all go back to your assigned rooms, and you all long rest. The next day approaches rather quickly. You meet in the Great Hall. Tables empty, with aside for a few dwarves that are still sleeping. And Drundall, if he's not the king of Wyrmbreaker, he is and should be the king of hangovers. The man seems unfazed by the previous day's festivities. He sits in his throne, beside him, Hamuk, his son, and to the left of Drundall, Morning Spark. As you all approach, Drundall rises along with his son. Once again, thank you, Hoplites. It means a great deal to us here in Serum. Holding up?
I bet you.
Best of luck to you all. Hamuk will lead you to the frozen trail. Once you reach the end of that, you are on your own, Hoplites. And like I said, any means necessary, your call. I trust you. So please, Morning Spark, take my son, the Hoplites, and their beasts to the teleportation circle. I assume you will be back in a few days' time. Best of luck, Hoplites.
Is your son going with us?
Hamuk will kind of step forward. I'll point you in the right direction, but after that I do not think it wise for me to trek onto their land. But come, I will show you. He kind of parts through you guys and leads you along with Morning Spark to teleportation circle that will take you to Alingvar.
as we're walking, can I try to make a connection to see if the ally Gary wanted us to check on is this possible Skyraeus figure?
Gary, forever ago, the brass dragon that you met,
Mm-hmm.
he did ask you about assuring the safety of someone in the Uncharted North. He did mention a giant. This very well could be him.
Oh, snap. John. I didn't even think of that.
So,
Ouch.
as
Lore secretary.
Yes.
our Lord Secretary,
Also-
John. But as you follow Hammock and Morning Spark, you reach teleportation circle before teleporting once again, a feeling that you're getting all too familiar with as of late, to the northernmost city of Alingvar. You were teleported into almost a this circle in Alingvar is not out in the open. It is within the confines of an almost dungeon-like area. You feel deep underground. As you're teleported, no words are spoken between the guards and Hammock, as obviously he's allowed to be here. He guides the rest of you. Morning Spark left behind at Covern. But now Hammock, the four of you, head up and out into the streets of Alingvar. Around you, it feels a little bit like a ghost town. You do not hear the lively sounds of farm animals that is very common in northern cities like this. As you walk through places, pens where you would see pigs, cows, etc., they are empty. It seems like a lot of people left Alingvar after a raid or two. There's not a lot of life here anymore. But as Hammock takes you through, he explains this to you. After the first few raids from the Children of the North, Alingvar became a place that was dreary to most. A lot of them moved out. We welcomed them with open arms in the Covern, gave them home, food, land, and they wish to return. Part of your mission is to ensure that that happens. Well, ensure that we can allow that to happen. He walks forth out the northern gates of Alingvar. Before you, about 1,000 feet of a flat, snowy landscape. Before you see a wall of tall trees. Thick, and crowded together, very similar to Merdeep style almost.
Mm.
From which behind you see sprouting up from the trees the tall mountains. Beyond a couple of the nearmost mountains, you do see the very, very tall peak of what or where the storm seems to be. It's pretty far back, but judging by your recent ventures, maybe a day or two travel. Hammock takes you down the path known to you as the Frozen Trail. A path that leads into the forest. You can see kind of an indentation into the ground. Snow kind of makes it a little difficult to see, but the way that it parts the trees, you can kind of obviously tell this is a man-made trail. But as you progress through it, you reach an area where it begins to climb up as the rocky base of a mountain is before you. So far, the travel that it took you to get here places the time at about 2 p.m. And as you begin to ascend the mountain, Hammock stops. This is where I leave you.
Guards will be waiting for your return to Alingvar. They know your faces, they know your mission, and they know it is the utmost importance that you return to us in Covern. The moment they see you, they will take care of you. Any last questions, Hoplites, before your departure?
Hammock, why do you think it's not best you go? I know you said your father wants to protect you, but
Every
What did you mean
time
by
He's a
that?
single
We're in
heir
front
to a
of them.
throne.
that,
Single heir of
yes,
a throne going into enemy territory. It's too much of a risk. I wouldn't let him go.
I am a prize of my father, yes, but on top of that, I do not think it is strategically wise to send yet another party from Sarum in a land that has already gotten rough results. However, the Hoplites are a name known across Tirafel. They might know you, most likely not, but you are not Sarum. I can tell that just by looking at you. They might actually listen to you. It was initially my idea. My father likes the story a lot, though. So good luck, Hoplites. He takes a step back, kind of nods his head to you all. Oh! He tosses you a bag of holding. A week's worth of rations, should it come to that. One more thing. If diplomacy is something you wish to enact, do not take the word of Wyrmbreaker too far. I am unsure of what it is that my father wishes, what he is allowing in terms of what to give. This must be done without the aid of Sarum. But please tell them Hamuk misses his cousins. Thank you, Hoplites. He turns. This massive dwarf, about the size of his father. His footsteps crunch in the snow as he walks away. Within moments, he disappears beyond the thick trees. And you turn towards the north and you look upwards. The base of this mountain stretching up, from which beyond you can just barely see the very edge of a very dark storm circling a mountaintop in the distance. And that is where we are going to end this session. So, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed your time. But for now, we must part. So, do stop by again soon. Stay safe out there, traveler, and keep moving forward. Bye-bye.
Ooh.